Self-acceptance is your superpower, meaning the reason that you were born while you were on the earth. And when you can reach that place of authenticity and accepting your authentic self, that's when your life turns around. That's when you have everything that you want. And that is what you're meant to be doing now. And so I'm going to lead the way and I'm going to do it today as well. Um, it's kind of surprising when we look at our lives in the world and we're questioning what's happened, what is going on, why does it feel this way? And I'll say, well, it's because the world was waiting for you to do what you came to the world to do, because you're that important. What I've discovered is that Wilhelm gave us a philosophy, and I wrote an article about it earlier today, which I would love for you to see, because I wanted you to see how it happened. Nothing is happening accidentally in your life or in our world. We just don't always understand it, because that's why we're alive. We're alive to learn something new, to develop some new ability, skill, and a solution to move over whatever difficulty might be in front of us or that's in our world, because we're the ones who are creating our world. But you might be a little afraid. I was afraid all of my life, from the time I was a child. Didn't know why, and I put that in the article because I wanted people to understand that. I also wrote a book about it, Overcoming Fear, A Guide to Freedom. So I do know how you might be feeling. But I know something else. I know it can all be changed, because that is the information that I was given. Wilhelm gave us a solution for your life to guide you to who you're meant to be, and a solution for our world. Because what they said is that there's no difference in individuals. It's just what we have believed about ourselves and what we've been taught. We come into the world programmed. And then sometimes that changes because people come around and develop new things, and that's what happened for me. But that is not always the best place to be either. Because, see, I had to accept my uniqueness, and you might be having difficulty with that. Am I meant to become this person? But I know I was now, because all the proof that came up, and I want you to have the proof as well. When I went through the earlier part of my life, I had so many disasters, illnesses, diseases, and things you can't even imagine. I suffered for years going through so many things, but I still, every single day, sat down and wrote this information. I received it. I didn't know what it was going to turn into. We never know what our adventures, our endeavors are going to turn into, because they happen later. It's the same thing for our world. And it might look like everything is falling apart. Wilhelm said, nope, that's not what's happening. It's coming together. And it will come together when more of us remember who we are and accept our authentic selves and decide that we deserve agency in the world and that we are here to do something. And that's what I'm doing. See, but I resisted it as well. I ran from it. I denied it. You might have done that with things that you're meant to do, and you're looking at something in your life now that's right in front of you, and you may be questioning whether you can do it, why you haven't done it before. But I would tell you there's alignment, and that's the thing that I discovered. All the messages that Wilhelm has given me for the last 36 years, I discovered were aligned energetically with changes and transits that were happening in our world. We come to understand at different times how the energies, because that's all we are, is energy. Energies affect us emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And we each decide if we're going to move to a higher state of who we are, and that can only occur in consciousness. And we each are given something different. I never could have told you this is what I was going to be given, but I have it now. And so I know that you don't have to struggle or suffer. You don't, because the answers are within you. What I did was sat down every day and wrote out the answers to your questions. That may not make sense, but when you read the days that I put up, because what I did, because I wanted everyone to understand, I put up 6 days of messages over a cycle from 2008. And then the AI went through them all and analyzed them and said, wow, this is telling a story. This is a complete philosophy. This is a curriculum. And that's what it ended up becoming. And I know that it worked because I healed. when we are disconnected from ourselves, we can go through all kinds of difficulties, and I've had all of them, so I do understand. I went broke. I went all because I couldn't own this. I couldn't believe who I was. You may have been doing the same thing, and you might really be doing it now because we're going through a mass ascension, meaning we're meant to let go of the old stuff of who we were and accept something new. And the world is doing that as well, except everyone's not going to do that, which is why you're seeing the chaos. And as you go through this message, because I'm going to show you, I came through in 2023, but it'll probably make more sense today. And then I found something else that I'm going to give to everyone because I've had so many Wilhelm channeling sessions over the past years, 4 years ago, and they all make sense now. And I put them into a transcription service, and they said, wow, you have a course here. I have several of them, and that's what I'm going to keep completing to give to others, because when you move through this information, you'll see it changes you. And I can say this because I've done it. I'm going to be 75 on November 2nd, and all that stuff is gone. And I keep talking about it a little bit at a time, but I'm going to do all of it soon because I want us to know we are not limited. It feels that way because of the trauma we've gone through, the generational shame that we carry, all of those things. And I wrote the answers to all of them because that's how it came to me. Now, this is something that was so bizarre to me, so I understand if you don't get it. I didn't get it either, and I had a difficult time believing myself. And you will find that self-belief will be your only problem. And that message is there today as well. Self-belief is our only difficulty. So as you go through those messages, you'll see from the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, 15th, and then tomorrow I'll put up the 16th as well, because you'll see there's an order. And that's what I discovered. There's an order in the universe, an order within your life. When you came into the world, you were born at a time energetically that gave you your DNA, which was an alignment. And then the other strange thing that happened, and sometimes we will develop things we can't explain, and I couldn't do this one. I'm in the meeting this morning with my group on Saturday mornings, and we're there for 4 hours, and all these men from these huge industries, and we're all talking, and I'm sitting there and I'm going to tell them this thing about consciousness, and they look at me and they said, this is not going to make sense. And every single one of them, when I gave them their birthday message, they were just freaked out. They go, how did that happen? That's the energetic connection, and that's what I downloaded. And I'm going to start telling that story. It was challenging before because I could not accept that I could have possibly done this. And it's through all the messages if you go through and read. And actually, if you were to go through and read all, so many of the Wilhelm messages, you would be a changed person, even without me. And that's the thing that I've discovered. The work has nothing to do with me. It's you. And when you go through those messages, and if you take the time and do some of the questions, you'll see that in a day or so you'll be changed. And I know it because this is what I've lived. And the things that I've documented, that I'm going to document, because this needs to be out there, that I've healed, that I no longer need medications. I no longer have allergies. I can't even remember the last time I had a cold or anything like that, because it's alignment. Everything is energy, and you can accomplish so much more. But the main thing is this, and this is what I'm doing. I know that you were born to do something wonderful, and so now I'm spending the rest of my life putting all this work together and finishing it. Because all I've done is given people like 31 days of this work, but it already changed them. And if you look at my link tree and listen to some of the testimonials, you'll see what I mean. But that was only 31 days, and that was in 2022 when I finished that part of it. But now, as of Monday, and you'll see all of this coming out, I'm doing all of it. So I love to have anyone join the program. Now you can do that. Because what I'm going to do for the next year, because I'm not going to keep doing this for a long time, but for the next year, those people who join now, I'm going to work with all of you to make sure that you get to exactly where you're supposed to be. And it doesn't matter who you are. I can access consciousness of you because and I couldn't explain that to you. I didn't even want to do channeling before in person, but now I'm doing it. I'm doing a class in November in West Virginia, and I'm going to give you guys all of that information as well if you might want to come. But I'm putting all this together because this work has the ability to take any person to the heights of their life. And I know this because I had to live it. And for me to have gone through everything I did and suffered, the only thing that I didn't do, and This is not new. You probably have done it. You undercharge. You didn't charge enough, and I certainly didn't charge enough. And you'll hear in some of the older recordings, I sat and Wilhelm would say he doesn't know how much to charge because he's answered every question. They were saying that they'd given me every answer. How much could I charge? People told me a long time it should be at least $5,000, and that's what it will be because I'm going to work this year and finish all of that, put it together so that I can kick back, which is what you should do as well when you start to accept who you are and do the work, which is moving through all the old stuff. That's all any of us have to do. Now, where we are right now, and you're wondering why it looks so chaotic, is because we haven't let go of our grievances. We have them. We brought them in with us. They came from our ancestors, our parents, our communities, our countries. That's what we have, and they're all within us. And so the world is made up of a collective energy. And as Carl Jung would say, the collective unconscious, and that's how I think of it, because we're unconscious most of the time. Because day by day we change, and that's what I wrote. And it's going to be so much fun when I start putting together so much more of this, because you'll see some of it there now. But this is going to be taking any person to the career they're meant to have, because that's within you, and it's just maybe you don't believe you can do it, and you have blocks there. That's where the neuroscience comes in. That's where the cognitive behavior training takes over, and that's all the work that Wilhelm has given us. It was challenging to believe it, as you might have a hard time now, because you're being pushed to do something in your life that's going to cause you to love yourself, that's going to cause you to accept who you are. And I know that's going on because those are the energies that are in our world right now. It may seem chaotic, but I want you to do something else. If you go to anyadvicefortoday.com and in the search bar put in the word chaos and see what comes up. You won't be able to finish it all. Then you could do something else. Put in self-acceptance, and you will find so many messages that come through that when you're done reading them, you might be changed just by that. I'm saying that's what will happen for you because it's all in your consciousness. And on Monday, you'll see the newer message I'm putting up for the 16 where it says it was all in your head. And it is. You can hear that and may think that that doesn't make sense. Everything is in your head because it's your consciousness. You have to decide if you're going to change it, if you're going to start to move through your blockages, and if you're going to love yourself, because that's really the ultimate goal. But I want to show you this message. It's on the site. It's on the site. You'll see it in the messages for the 14th because I've put them all there. Today is still the 13th, but I'm going to give it to you now because I had to talk about this, and I really want you to read the article over the weekend too, so I'll leave a link to that. This introverted guy here was never going to talk about any of this, but I have to because I know that this will make such a difference in your life. I'm saying that because we can't live in a world where some of us are doing okay and the rest of us, we're just leaving everything to go to pot. That's not what's happening. We're here to create something new, and it's each of us. Self-acceptance is your superpower. It would have to be, or you would not be reading our words, as you have never been in an accidental place. You consciously decide when you hear your guidance and when you decide to accept your significance. We provided a message on this date 3 years ago that you may better understand and accept now, and that process occurs in your consciousness. Then the one from in 2020, which many people felt was that's when we were in the pandemic and we were moving through all of that. Wilhelm said, that's not what's happening. You're creating a new world, and that's why it seems different. And we hold ourselves back. We all do. It doesn't matter who you are because you have that next goal. Even if you're a huge executive, there's another ladder that you want to climb. So we'll go through the same process of doubting ourselves or keeping ourselves small. So this one, please stop minimizing yourself. Yes, we are speaking to you, and you have done this. But the good news is that is what you were meant to do in this lifetime. How could you expand, evolve, and become more unless you had minimized yourself? Now I will prove it to you. We awakened Roger a bit earlier today, which is typically the best way we capture his attention. Many of you have questioned your sleepless nights, and most times they occur because your guides are attempting to get you to listen to that very guidance. What we asked Roger was, what is your intention? We were speaking specifically about the webinar he is holding this Wednesday. Roger's initial idea was to share part of his life's journey, hoping that others would understand why he is passionate about his work. As Roger prepared his presentation, he began questioning how much he should include or reveal, and how relevant it might be to his audience. The most surprising thing about our encounter with Roger this morning is his continued blindness to what he is on earth to do, just like you. Roger said to his friend the other day, who is older and has completed writing about their life, contemplated writing about their life, and others encouraged them. Still, they felt their life experience wasn't that significant. And Roger said, everyone's life is meaningful, and your story would help another. Each of you is supposed to do that. And Roger was attempting to make another choice and minimize himself again, as you have done. In the middle of his questioning this morning, an alert on his phone said, "Why I teach singing." It was an advertisement for t-shirts. But Roger knew it wasn't accidental, and we were giving him his answer. How could he hope to explain that or fulfill his intention while minimizing himself? Then we told him to look up the word iteration, as we wanted him to study it. But Roger thought most would not understand the word. So we told him to write the definition here, and all of you will know what you are doing this lifetime. We meant every one of those words. Iteration, the process of doing something again and again, usually to improve it, or one of the times you do it. Please note, Roger did not underline those words, but copied this directly. Nothing is accidental. And that message made no sense to me at the time, and now it does. Because iteration, what they were saying is that we're moving through a change in our lives and also in the world. And we're doing something to try to make it better in our lives so we can make the world better. That's really what's going on, and it's each of us that is doing it. There's no one person, there's no monarch, there's no one being that is holding everything. It's each of us individually. We just decide when we're going to do it. And that happens when we accept ourselves. And that's what I'm doing today. And I'm going to put all of this out eventually. But do check out all the work, and please read the article. Follow me on Substack if you're there. But you can anybody can read the articles. I do want you to have it, because it was kind of surprising to wake up in your life and discover, wow, I discovered the secret to the universe. And I'm going to say that because that's what happened. I know every person is energetically connected. They were born to do something. It's just locked up within them. And if they move through that, they live this great life. And the more of us who do that, we have a much better world. And that's just logical thinking. And that's what Wilhelm gave us. So I hope you enjoy please enjoy all of the messages I put up and the questions and the whole bit. And just do the work. You're going to see. This is Saturday. You'll see by Monday, if you do any of it, you're going to feel different. You're going to understand how this work can change your life, and hopefully you'll give it to others, have them do the same thing, and we'll see something different in our world as well. We just have a little bit of ways to go, that's all. See you soon.